Here is the very uncomfortable truth. What got you here will not get you there. We all know that to be true, right? But it also applies to our people. The people that we hired to grow and scale our company to the point that it's at today are not necessarily the people that are going to take our company to the next level. And this one fact I have seen stall out hundreds of multi-seven-figure founders. These founders had the marketing, the sales, the product, the company to take them to multiple eight figures. And the one thing that held them back was their people, and specifically the leaders that they promoted into key leadership and management roles. They didn't know who to keep, who to level up, and who it was finally time to let go of so they could get the right A players into the right seats. And I have seen this mistake cost founders millions and millions of growth every single year. And I don't want you to be one of them. So in this video, I am going to be sharing the exact tool that we use to help our high ticket 7 and 8 figure founders identify systematically who is the right fit for what role on the bus. Who do I have already that can grow and be trained and level up into the leader that I need them to be? And who is simply no longer the right fit and needs to be taken off of the bus so that we can get the right A player talent in to take our business to the next level. This work is hard, it's uncomfortable, it's scary, but it's less of all of those things when you have the proven system and tool to back it up. So the tool that we use to do this for our clients is called the Leadership Scorecard. And right now I am going to go pull up this tool and walk you through it. You can grab your own copy of the Leadership Scorecard in the description. It's entirely free. So before we keep going, drop down, make a copy of that Leadership Scorecard and follow along as we move through this tool together. All right, let's jump over there. So welcome to the Leadership Scorecard. Let's show you this tool and let's break down exactly how we use it. When you first get into the Leadership Scorecard, and again, the link is below in the description, so grab that, make a copy, follow along. What you're going to see is that it's going to automatically take you to this Leadership Scorecard page. But if we're just logging into this tool for the first time, this is actually not where we're going to start. Where we're going to start is by building out job scorecards for each member of our leadership team. If we want a team that rises to meet our standards, we have to start by clearly defining and measuring exactly what those standards are. It comes back to the data and how we use data to set targets and hold our team accountable to those targets. So down at the bottom here, you are going to see that me and my team have actually listed out templates for the top job scorecards that we have helped our clients build over the year. And I think there's 5. We have job scorecards for a head of operations role, head of marketing, head of sales, head of product, head of client success. This is kind of your average, your standard leadership team. So we can click into any one of these, and this is going to pre-populate a sample template job scorecard. And I cannot iterate that enough. This is a template. It is a starting point. What you need to do is take this as a starting point and then adjust it to match the reality of your business and what you need in the head of operations role. But this is going to give you a starting point to start thinking that through. The job scorecard has 3 major sections. The first section is the outcomes, and this is probably the most important section. This is the section where we are actually going to lay out what does success in this role look like? If I had my absolute all-star A player head of operations in this role, what would I be able to point to inside of my business? And what would I be able to measure that this operator would be responsible for, right? So for example, that looks like company profitability and your company profit margin, operational efficiency and how we measure that, systems development, team performance, right? These are things that we can measure to indicate whether or not we have the right A player in the role. So you're going to lay out these outcomes, and then you're going to set a measurable target to each of those outcomes. This is how we measure whether we have the right person in the role or not. So you fill that in. If you scroll down, you'll also see the responsibilities. Responsibilities are, what does the day-to-day of this role look like? What are the major deliverables and tasks that this role is going to be responsible for? And then over here, we have competencies. Competencies is, how does an A player show up to this role? What are the core skills, areas of experience, and competencies that they bring to the role that I could point to and say, this is why they're doing a great job. So the first step is that we need to fill out these job scorecards. We need to decide, what does A player performance in every single role across my leadership team look like? And if you don't know how to do that, if this is your first time doing it, or if you're not sure what should go into those job scorecards, I have gone ahead and made my team available to you. You can click this right here, book a free call with my team and we will walk you through this tool, because the first time we do this with our clients, it takes a lot of discussion, a lot of hand-holding, it's a lot of support to do this well in such a way that we don't accidentally keep the wrong people on the bus or accidentally fire our actual A players. So reach out, get support if you need it. But that's going to be step number 1, is we are going to build a job scorecard for every single critical leadership role across our business. And again, we've gotten you started with these templates. From there, your team is now going to start to use these job scorecards. Every single month, your team can come in and fill out the actual target, the actual metric that they hit in that month, right? So let's go back to our head of operations for a second, that our profit target is to maintain a minimum average quarterly profit margin of 30%. That's our monthly KPI, right? That's the target that we set. And let's say in January, we crushed it. We had a 50% profit margin. In February, not so good. We had a 25% profit margin. So your leadership team every single month will come in here and fill this out month over month with the actual data according to the major metrics and targets that you're going to measure them against. Once we get this in order and flowing with our team, then this leadership scorecard becomes the one place that you need to go every single month to measure and hold your team accountable to their performance and to their KPIs. If we go onto this leadership scorecard, you can then click in and at a glance, you can see, how is my head of ops doing? How is my head of client success doing? How is my head of marketing doing? Not from a gut check, not from an intuition, but how is their actual performance measuring up against the targets that we agreed to and that we set for the role. You can change the month over here so that you can look month over month. Is my team hitting their targets? Are our metrics improving or are they falling short? And you will be able to see side by side the KPI that you set versus the actual performance of your team. So holding your team accountable no longer comes down to guesswork, no longer comes down to a gut check. That feeling that you have of like, man, I feel like this person is just, I don't know, they're just disappointing me, but I don't know if my standards are too high or if I haven't trained them right. I don't know what the gap is. I don't know how to help them close it. All of that guesswork, all of that worry, all of that doubt goes away because we have now brought it down into black and white data. Either our team is hitting the targets or they're not. And if they're not hitting their targets, we know exactly which targets they are missing. We know exactly which gaps are contributing to that because we can look in our responsibilities section and in our competency section and we can see where they're falling short. And then we can either manage them up or manage them out because that's where this ends. At the end of the day, this is a tool for helping you get the right leaders into the right seats. And the inevitable fact is not all of the leaders that you have on the bus right now are going to make the cut. That's just reality. And so our job as leaders is to acknowledge that and to move quickly, to build a system that helps us determine and decide within a matter of 30 to 90 days who are the right people, who deserve to be trained and leveled up, who are capable of training and leveling up and closing the performance gaps, and who are no longer the right fit for the seats on the bus that we have for them. The Leadership Scorecard is designed to help you move through that process quickly and to help you do it with the least amount of emotionality or stress by bringing it back to the objective data. So to recap, step 1, build the job scorecard, define success in every single role, and then roll this out to each critical member of your team so that they understand exactly what they are being held accountable to. Step number 2, hold them accountable, measure their performance month over month, and where and when they are falling short, take immediate action. And then step number 3, have the uncomfortable conversations. Call out the performance gaps where you see them and either level up and manage up your team to close those gaps or manage them out and get the right A players that you need into the critical roles within your company and within your leadership team. Here's what I have come to learn over the hundreds of teams that we have worked with through this process, that at the end of the day, it serves no one to hold on to somebody and to keep them in a role where they are not set up for success. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve your company. It doesn't serve your clients. It doesn't serve the other members of your team who now have to work with and compensate for this underperformer. And it doesn't serve them. It does not serve anyone to be forced to show up in a role where they are not the right fit or they're not set up for success in that role. It really doesn't. And so while it is scary, while it is uncomfortable, while it can be painful to let go of people who have been with us since the beginning, people that we care about, people that we're close to, what I really now believe is like, if I care about them, if I really am that close, then I will do the uncomfortable work of letting them move into a different role within my organization or move on to a different organization where they will truly be set up for success and the right fit within that business. I genuinely believe that having these uncomfortable conversations and making these uncomfortable decisions can sometimes be the best thing that we ever do for that person. And that does not make it easy. That does not make it simple. I know because I struggled with this for so long. And the mentor who actually gave me a framework, what she called manage up or manage out, an actual framework to either level up our underperformers or to get them off the bus, was none other than Layla Hermosi. And so I have created an entire video breaking down Layla's manage up or manage out framework and everything that she taught me when it came to leveling up underperformers or eventually firing them and getting them off the bus. So you can check that out here. In this next video, it'll be popping up. And if you are about to have any of these uncomfortable performance improvement or potentially firing conversations, absolutely go check out this video first so you are walking into that as prepared as possible, ready to go. I will see you over there.